Well, folks, the PlayStation 5 Showcase has finished, and pre-orders for the PlayStation 5 have already gone live in North America. And it's pretty crazy to think about because, the message was that it was probably something that was going to happen in the next 24 hours or so. But pretty much immediately after the show has ended, we're already getting pre-orders. Walmart was having pre-orders, Target as well, and some other retailers. GameStop, I believe, in store was selling pre-orders. I was fortunate to get a pre-order from Walmart for a PS4 physical edition with the Blu-ray drive, so we'll see if Walmart fulfills that particular order. I have heard rumors that they may not be fulfilling all the orders and, canceling a bunch of them, but we'll see. But I gotta say, the frenzy right now to get a PlayStation 5 is absolutely unbelievable. And it's probably something that I expected to see, but I guess, my big takeaway from this is that Sony really didn't give anyone a heads up that this was coming as far as when pre-orders were going to go on sale. In fact, if you recall, about 2 weeks ago, they were talking about if you went to a particular website and put in your PlayStation ID, then they would offer preferential or priority kind of treatment to those long-standing PlayStation Network people that have been using PlayStation Network since, the beginning.
We'll let you know when pre-order will happen. We will let you know. It's not going to happen with a minute's notice. We're going to at some point let you know when you can pre-order a PlayStation 5.
And all that stuff has seemed to have gone out the window in favor of just these retailers selling pre-orders for the PS5. So things are pretty crazy right now, but I did want to mention the PlayStation 5 Showcase that just happened today, and it was very interesting to talk about what went down, but the big takeaways for me obviously were the price. Sony has confirmed that the price of the PlayStation 5 is $499 for the physical edition with the Blu-ray drive, and $399 obviously for the digital edition, all digital edition, which is something that I expected to see personally, but it is a very aggressive price cut of $100, just for a Blu-ray drive, which is probably like $15 to $20. And, this is interesting because I felt like Sony would go this approach. They were going to always market and price the digital edition very aggressively because, they really want to compete in the next generation and get a big foothold in next gen. And look, they're probably taking a bit of a loss on the digital edition. In fact, I would say probably more than a bit of a loss. I would say they're taking a fairly significant loss on the digital edition, and we found out today that there will be launch games. Demon's Souls, which looked and presented very, very well at the showcase, will be a launch game, as well as Miles Morales is coming out for the PlayStation 5. And the interesting thing is the price of these games will be $69.99 in the US. So that's a $10 increase in kind of the RRP that we've normally been paying for these video games. But look, I'm not really too unhappy about that. Sony obviously needs to, get their money back on the next gen. But it's interesting to see if Microsoft will follow suit with similar pricing, or they'll just hold firm at the $59.99 price point. But I thought that was an interesting takeaway from this particular show. Now, the other thing I want to say is the release date is November 12th for the PlayStation 5 in the US, Japan, Canada, Australia, and other parts of the world. And that will be on the same week as the Xbox. So it's going to be a very busy week for video games. You're going to be buying a Xbox Series X or an Xbox Series S on Tuesday and picking that up. And you're going to be picking up your PlayStation 5 on the Thursday, the November the 12th. So if you're thinking about pre-ordering both, you're going to have a very busy week dealing with both of those things. But, PlayStation is going to be right there with Microsoft that particular week as well. Now, there are a couple of interesting things that came out of this show. The Demon's Souls trailer looked really good. It's a PlayStation 5 launch title and one that I'm very excited to get my hands on. But what was interesting was Sony released a trailer of Demon's Souls after the show, and at the end of that trailer, they announced that it was coming out for the PC as well as the PlayStation 5. So everyone was kind of thinking, well, what's going on here? We thought this was a PlayStation 5 exclusive. Now, Sony has since taken down that particular trailer and come back and said that no, that was an error and it's actually a PlayStation 5 exclusive. So very difficult to know what's going on there, but I just wanted to kind of, clarify that it's not coming out for the PC, at least not right now. It's probably something that Sony will unveil later on, but, a little interesting that they let that one go through. I'm not really sure what really happened there, but the other thing that I want to mention was the whole thing with cross-generation games. Jim Ryan told us in September that there were no cross-generation games coming out for next gen. Now, all of a sudden, we were told and we've seen that Sackboy, Horizon Forbidden West, and Miles Morales are all going to run on the PlayStation 4 as well. So this was another example of Sony kind of going back on the message, and that's very confusing to a lot of people. These games are going to run on the PlayStation 4, and all of a sudden, Ghost of Tsushima is now no longer kind of the swan song first-party game for the PS4, because there are at least 3 more first-party Sony titles that are coming out for the PlayStation 4. So that message is very, very confusing, and something that a lot of people aren't too thrilled about, because it's something that's been coming out of the Sony camp a lot these days, where they'll say something, but then they'll kind of go back on their word a little bit. And it also goes back to what I said previously about how Sony said to the fans that they would make them aware of when pre-orders would go live. As we've seen today, it's every person for themselves, trying to get a pre-order locked in before release date. But Sony really needs to work on their messaging to the public, because they've already said a couple of things and contradicted themselves, and it has been a little bit confusing, especially if you're someone that wants to buy a PS5. Maybe you own a PS4, but you want to get to the next gen, but now all of a sudden, some of these games that you felt were going to be next gen games now are running on the PS4, and that probably is making you wonder, well, do I need to upgrade right now, or is it something that I can wait on, and pick up, at some point next year when everything has kind of died down a little bit. But in any case, guys, it was a pretty good presentation. I was very excited to see Demon's Souls, the new God of War tease, as well as the new Final Fantasy game. I think Sony has a very good year ahead of them, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing what they come out with as well. And look, the other message that Jim Ryan had come out and said after the show, again, it wasn't a part of the show, was that 99% of PS4 games will be brought forward and playable on the PlayStation 5. So again, very interesting messaging. I don't really know, what that will translate to when we actually start testing games, but there was that communication that your old kind of catalog, your existing catalog of games should bring over to the PS5 without any issue, other than that 1% of games. And who knows what that 1% will be, but that will remain to be seen once we get our hands on the system and start testing it. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Did you pre-order a PlayStation 5 successfully or not? I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think about the presentation that went down, and what do you think about some of the messaging and some of the confusion that's been going on around some of the messaging that we've heard from the Sony camp since the presentation? Look, I think it's just, the cost of doing business, and, right now things are kind of so crazy that there's all this information that's being fed to us very, very quickly. So I think it's just kind of a byproduct of, a launch window that's fast approaching. And I think Sony's doing pretty much all they can to make sure that they have happy customers. But so in some cases, things just kind of fall through the cracks. But I really do wish they were more transparent about some of this information that they gave to us, especially surrounding the PlayStation 4 games. But look, this is Sony, this is marketing. They want to sell as many people next generation as they can. So I don't fault them for this, but I do wish they were a little more transparent with their messaging on this one for sure. Well, guys, let me know what you thought about this in the comments below. I'm going to leave it here. As always, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye for now.